Here's an experiment that should be impossible. Princeton, 1973. Researchers asked trainee priests to walk across campus and give a talk about the Good Samaritan, the parable about stopping to help a stranger. On the way, each one passed a man slumped in a doorway, coughing, groaning, clearly in trouble. The man was an actor. The question was simple: who stops? When students had time, most stopped. But when researchers said 3 words, "You're running late," helping collapsed to 1 in 10. Some students stepped over the man, on their way to preach about helping strangers. We all carry a comfortable story about evil. Evil things are done by evil people, monsters, psychopaths, them. It's comfortable because it means one thing: it could never be you. But the writer Solzhenitsyn, who survived the Soviet camps, warned that the line dividing good and evil cuts through the heart of every human being. And decades of research agree the best predictor of cruelty isn't character, it's circumstance. Here's the evidence, and it's uncomfortable. July 1942. Occupied Poland. Reserve Police Battalion 101, about 500 middle-aged men from Hamburg. Dock workers, salesmen, fathers, too old for the army, and most of them no fanatics. Their commander, Major Trapp, gathered them at dawn. Witnesses say he was in tears, gave them a monstrous order, and then an exit. Anyone who didn't feel up to the task could step out, no punishment. Out of 500 men, about 12 stepped out. The rest went on, over 16 months, to help kill 83,000 people. When historians studied them, the engine wasn't hatred. It was one question: what will my comrades think of me? Force number 1. The crowd. In the 1950s, Solomon Asch gave people a test a child could pass. Match the length of a line. But when everyone else in the room confidently gave the same wrong answer, 75% of people denied their own eyes at least once, just to agree. It gets worse. Put someone in a room slowly filling with smoke. Alone, 3 out of 4 report it. Sitting next to 2 calm actors, only 1 in 10. We would rather sit in a burning building than break the social calm. Force 2. Split responsibility. You may have heard of the 38 witnesses who watched a murder in New York and did nothing. Here's the twist. That story was mostly false. The newspaper exaggerated it. Some neighbors did call for help. But we believed it for 40 years. Because it matches something real. The more people who could act, the less each one feels they must. And evil exploits this like an assembly line. Split an atrocity into small, legal-looking steps. 1 man signs, 1 drives, 1 guards, 1 stamps. Everyone helped. No one, in their own mind, did it. Force 3. Small steps. Nobody signs up for atrocity on day 1. After that first massacre, the men of Battalion 101 were physically sick. Some wept, many couldn't eat. 16 months later, it was routine. The brain renormalizes. At least what you already accepted. So you only say something monstrous: would I do something 5% worse than yesterday? And yesterday already feels normal. Force 4. Dirty words. Before neighbors harm neighbors, language strikes first. In Rwanda, the radio called people cockroaches. Nazi paperwork never said murder. It said evacuation, special treatment, processing. Modern briefings say collateral damage. Psychologists call it moral disengagement. When the words hide the act, conscience never gets pinged. And you can spot this force from miles away. Whenever a human being disappears behind a word, a pest, a number, a category, a door has just been opened. Which brings us to the most famous experiment about evil and its double twist. Stanford, 1971. Students flipped a coin, guards or prisoners, in a fake basement prison, planned for 2 weeks. By day 6, the guards were so cruel it had to be shut down. Twist 1. More than 50 outsiders watched that experiment. Exactly 1, a young psychologist named Christina Maslach, said this is wrong, stop it. The lead researcher listened and married her the next year. Twist 2 came decades later. Investigators found the guards had been coached toward cruelty. The famous science was partly theatre, But notice what that actually proves. Give people a role, an authority's script, and a noble-sounding purpose, and they'll play it. Even the researchers did. But every one of these forces has a reverse gear. Remember Ashke's test? Add one single ally who tells the truth, and conformity collapses from 75% to under 10. One voice. Remember Battalion 101? 12 men proved stepping out was possible. And in the French mountains, an entire village, Le Chambon, quietly hid and saved thousands of Jews. Same forces, conformity, shared responsibility, small steps running in the opposite direction. Courage is exactly as contagious as cruelty. One visible, no rewires the whole room. So why do good people do evil things? Because evil doesn't ask for your consent up front. It asks for the crowd's silence, a divided job, one small step and a softer word. The most dangerous sentence in any language is, I would never. The honest sentence is, under the right pressure, I might. And strangely, the people who believe the second sentence behave better when it counts. That's the whole armor. Know the four forces and be, on purpose, the first no in the room. Because the line doesn't run between us and them. It runs through every heart, including yours, including mine.